and join me for a chit chat. But first, I need my morning coffee. Kopi seek my son. Good morning, and it's lovely to be with you and to be chatting with you. I'm Natalie Skead. I'm the Dean of the Singapore Judicial College, or the SJC. I was born in South Africa to Italian parents, moved to Australia in 2000 and lived in Perth, and now I'm very happy to be in Singapore, although I do miss my family, my 2 kids, 2 dogs, 2 cats, my husband, shouldn't forget him, and of course my mum, who's back in Perth. I started in this role in January 2024. Before then I was involved with the college, but in my capacity as a consultant, where I assisted the college in developing a strategic plan for how it's going to achieve its primary aim of becoming an international institution of judicial learning. So my role now, presently as Dean, is to develop and then to implement the college's strategic direction and its priorities. I work very closely with an exceptional leadership team in the college, in ED Justin Yeo and DY ED Paul Chan. We have the benefit of a very supportive Board of Governors helmed by Justice Kwek Minlak, and we rely heavily on the Board of Governors to really oversee and also to guide us in the achievement of our strategic plan. We've also got the benefit of just an incredible, talented team in the SJC. It was a small team at one point. We're now sitting at 21 officers, but soon to be 24, so we're very excited about our growth. And I should just mention that SJC was established in 2015, and we're incredibly grateful to the former Dean Fu, as well as the former EDs in Principal DJ Tan Boon Heng and also DJ Paul Kwan. They laid such a strong foundation on which we can build the SJC into a stronger established Institute of Judicial Learning. I would say that the most important aspect of our work in the SJC is to create an inclusive and engaged judicial learning community. We aim to foster curiosity in our learners. We aim to equip them so that they are best placed to flourish in all aspects of their work. And really what sits at the heart of the work that we do in terms of education is our judicial competency framework that was rolled out towards the end of 2024. The JCF, as we call it, identifies 14 judicial competencies, and they really reflect what it is that a judicial officer is expected to know and is expected to be able to do at each stage of their judicial career. In our teaching programs, we use a wide range of teaching formats and modalities, really aimed at different learning styles, but also ensuring that we create an interactive and engaged environment in which we can enhance learning. Increasingly, we've been integrating generative AI into our teaching programs. And we're now looking at how, instead of using AI as part of the learning, how we can use AI for learning. So specifically looking at whether we can use AI to create on-demand immersive teaching opportunities for our judicial learners. So, for example, we've used AI in our programs, specifically our judgment writing program, to generate fictitious and mock judgments that students and learners can then critique and analyse in order to really highlight what a good judgment looks like and more importantly, what a bad judgment looks like. Because as you can imagine, using real judgments could be sensitive. Learners don't really want to be critiquing their peers or any other members of the judiciary, past or present. A more radical use of AI that we deployed last year was a fully AI-driven avatar to deliver an entire lecture. So that was it took a lot of work, and for us it was groundbreaking. But really, the use of technology and the use of AI in our teaching programs is becoming the norm, and we're always looking for ways to embed new and innovative technologies to enhance the learning experience of our learning judges. Judiciaries, not just in Singapore but around the world, are facing a whole host of challenges, ranging from the complexification of disputes, so the matters that are coming before the courts are increasingly complex. There is the sheer pace at which things are changing. So, the knowledge that we might have today may well be outdated in relation to technology, for example, might well be outdated next month even. And then there's also the global phenomenon of truth decay. The notion of really what is true and what's not. That truth, everyone has their own truth, apparently, it seems, and truth can be whatever you want it to be, and there's the risk in that environment of increasing distrust in public institutions. And so we see our role in the SJC as equipping our judicial officers to face those challenges head on. So the SG Court's mission or vision, the SG Court's vision, is a trusted judiciary ready for tomorrow, and our purpose really is to ensure that we assist judicial officers to be ready for tomorrow. So equipping judicial officers for the challenges that lie ahead, the choppy waters into which they're sailing, inevitably, we really need to go beyond what judicial education has typically been in a number of ways, specifically in 3 ways. We need to go beyond teaching, we need to go beyond adjudication, and we need to go beyond law. In going beyond teaching, we recognise in the college that it's no longer appropriate or even possible, if indeed it ever was, for us simply to be transmitting more and more and more information to our judicial officers. Instead, our aim is to nurture and inspire learning judges, to almost quote our Chief Justice, judges who feel duty-bound to continue to learn in their quest for judicial excellence. So our task is really to instill and develop in judges that unwavering commitment to learn, but then also to provide them with opportunities for self-directed learning. Second beyond is beyond adjudication. So of course, adjudicating cases, resolving disputes will be and will remain the core function of a judge and a judicial officer. But in addition to that, there is a shared responsibility as the custodians of the justice system to ensure that that justice system remains fit for purpose, that it serves adequately those who it's intended to serve, the community. And so thinking systemically about how that justice system can and ought to be reformed is a really important part of the judicial role, and we seek to support that through our programs as well. The final area where we need to go beyond is beyond law. It's no longer enough for judges simply to have a deep mastery of the law and legal principles. Matters that are coming before the courts are increasingly complex, and we've seen recent examples of cases involving really technical issues relating to cryptocurrencies, generative AI, climate change, driverless vehicles, for example, to name just a few. And so it's important that we provide opportunities for our judicial officers and for our learners to gain knowledge of adjacent, allied areas such as technology, e-commerce, psychology, for example, forensics, statistics. And so just in the past 6 months, we have created a new series of programs called Beyond the Bench, in which we cover those aspects, those allied relevant aspects, both at a primer level and at a more advanced level. Going beyond what has been traditionally the case in judicial education, we adopt a T-shaped education model. So we provide opportunities for deep learning in core competency areas, as well as a breadth of learning in allied and adjacent areas. It's been a really busy year since the start of 2024, and we've achieved so much in all areas, in all 3 areas of our work, so in education, in international engagement, as well as in research. So in education, we have reviewed and refined all of our foundation programs. We have introduced some 201 programs, so that's the programs for judges who are more than 10 years in this judiciary. And we also ran for the first time a 301 program, which is a train the trainer program for our SJC faculty and senior faculty. We also established routine and regular feedback loops and gap analysis processes where we consult with our subject matter advisory panels, as well as court leadership, so court leadership within the tri-courts, to understand what the needs are and how we can best fill those needs, but also to get their feedback on the programs that we have run. Also, in relation to education, we have developed and delivered in close consultation with the tri-courts specific programs for the tri-courts. So, for example, the FJC Learning Week that ran last year in July. I've mentioned the Beyond the Bench series, which is continuing. I think so far we have delivered a series on forensics, including forensic accounting. In terms of international partnerships and outreach, this is where the college has really grown unexpectedly in the last 18 months. We have a number of formal MOUs in place with our judicial education counterparts in other parts of the world, and some informal partnerships where we get together for really rich knowledge exchanges where we learn from them and they learn from us. We recognise in the college the importance of a community of judicial education, and that's not just a community of learners, but also a community of teachers, and our community of international judicial educators has grown and strengthened over the last 18 months. We've also delivered and have in the pipeline some signature international programs, so primarily targeting international judicial learners. We ran in September last year, we curated and delivered a masterclass for commercial judges in Asia Pacific. That was held in Bogor in Indonesia. It was a program that brought together 70 judges from 16 jurisdictions across the globe. It was a really wonderful program, and apart from the deep learning that occurred for our judge learners at that program, was the wonderful opportunity just to connect with people and to strengthen old friendships, and to create new friendships and build that community of learners, of judicial learners. This year we have in the pipeline an international program in collaboration with the SICC, So it's our commercial law series, which will alternate with the masterclass, with a focus on arbitration. And we're looking forward to holding that in September. And then in November, we have our judicial executive program, which was first run in 2022. And we're running it again this year for up to 30 international judges who are either in leadership positions or who have aspirations for judicial leadership. We're constantly getting requests to deliver programs internationally to other judiciaries. We're still a relatively small team, and capacity and resources, manpower in particular, is a real challenge. And so we really need to be strategic in how we deploy our limited resources. But it is very exciting to realize that the quality of our judicial education programs is being recognized, and we are increasingly achieving our vision of being that international institute of judicial education. The final pillar of our work is research, which has always occurred. So we've always had an empirical judicial research grant scheme, and some really important, impactful research has come out of that team. But we've formalized our research by establishing in March 2024, through a restructure, our research arm, which is the Institute of Judicial Studies. Our education arm is the Institute of Judicial Excellence, and they both work really closely with one another to ensure that our research is informed by our teaching and teaching needs, and our teaching is evidence-based and research informed. So there's a really close synergy between those two. Increasingly, the research that we're putting out is being recognized as being of an international standard. We have a number of publications that have both come out and that are in the pipeline for this year. And so we're really excited about that more nascent, emerging area of our work. So I suppose all up, it's been a really busy 18 months, building on what was a really busy 8.5 years. We are incredibly pleased at the strides we have made in the past 18 months towards achieving the SJC's aim of being an international institute of judicial learning. To quote again the Chief Justice at one point in my discussions with him, the world's first university for judges. That's our aim, and we're making strides to get there. Probably best to describe it in one word, which is create, it's a bit of a cheat really, because create is the acronym for the SJC's values. It describes who we want to be, what we want to be as an organisation, as a college, but also as individuals and as colleagues. So curious, resilient, excellent, adaptable, trustworthy, and empathetic.
Prof, appreciate your time. We'll catch up again for coffee next time.
I certainly hope so, and I look forward to it. Thanks so much.